Yes. There goes my recording, so don't forget. Christina, Jeanette. Okay, you guys. So I got my eye on the clock because I want to honor everybody's time. Um, but also I love just hanging out and chit chatting with everybody. But I'm gonna jump in. This is recording, so if anybody comes in late or you're like, what did she say? We will have it available for you guys to rewatch at any point. But anyways, my name is Bethany, and oh my gosh, you guys, Arise Family started like, I don't even know, 2 years ago, I want to say. It's been a hot minute, but you guys, I'm so glad you're here. So I just want to welcome everybody, whether you're an Arise sister and you've been with us since the beginning, or whether, you're like Shayla, who's like, yo, I'm joining. And she just jumped on, like, was it yesterday, I want to say. Um, welcome. Or you're here because you're like, I don't know what this is about, but I want to hang out and I'd like to be inspired. And these women seem fun. We are, by the way. So anyways, welcome. Like I said, my name is Bethany, and I am a mama of five. I am a recent widow. I am an elementary school teacher turned stay-at-home mom turned entrepreneur, and I think I have the best job in the world. So I'm excited to share it with you. But tonight is just going to be kind of like a little bit of storytelling, basically. I'm going to share a little bit about the history of MIG, which is Mighty and Good, which is the Wildcrafted Wellness movement that we are each a part of and fiercely passionate about. So I'm going to share a little bit of that. I'm going to share a little bit of my story, and then I'm going to share a little bit about the impact that we're having both domestically and internationally through the fight against child trafficking. And if you have any questions, I'll have a brief time at the end, which of course is optional. You can stay on if you want, and ask questions. We try to be super open bookish about this. We're all here for different reasons, but we all feel super called here, and that this is the vision that has been gifted to us to help us live out our divine callings, whatever those are individually for each of us. And this vehicle has allowed so many of us and our families as well to really be positioned for radical generosity and really be in a place to just live and give in uncommon ways. Okay, so that's where we're at, and so I'm going to dive right on in. So Mighty and Good or MIG stands for Mighty and Good, and it was started over 10 years ago by an incredible visionary woman named Jamie Cross. And what I love about this story is that she was an ordinary woman with an extraordinary prayer. And so she was at home. She was a new stay-at-home mom, and she and her husband were struggling financially and just struggling in all the ways. I mean, we can all relate, right? If we've all had littles at home and we've been there, done that. And so she was just in this place of really longing. She wanted to make more of an impact inside her home. She wanted to financially unburden her family, and she wanted to really kind of launch them into this clean living lifestyle. But also she wanted to have an impact on other women and other families that were outside the home. And so she called out to God one night just in frustration. She just prayed and she asked God for this $1 billion idea. Just show me something that I can do with the gifts that you've given me, the talents that you've given me. Help me steward them well, and just give me some like amazing idea that can change the world. And she went to church the very next Sunday, and there was a guest preacher, and he was preaching. He interrupted himself. He came to the edge of the platform, and he put his hand on his heart, and he was like, I've never interrupted my own sermon before. This has never happened to me before. But I just feel like there's somebody in this room who God is getting ready to give $1 billion idea to. And so that person needs to get ready. And Jamie, of course, always tells a story like she just wanted to like jump up and wave her hands around and be like, it's me. So anyways, that was like a beautiful, quick, right? Kind of prompt confirmation that she was on the right track, and she had this dream not very long after, and she saw these huge vats of like oils and botanicals and all kinds of like natural God created pure earth things, and she saw herself pouring them and mixing them, and she woke up out of this dream and she turned to her husband and woke him up. She was like, I am going to start a skincare company, but it's not going to be like your normal average skincare company. We're going to be like the cleanest and the purest available out there. And we're going to do it for impact in women, impact in families, in homes. And we're going to fight against child trafficking at the same time, simultaneously with every single purchase. And her husband was like, yeah, okay, you go for it. Go, babe. Because of course she knew nothing about making bars of soap and all the herbal things that you do. And so she started to study. She poured her first bar of soap at her kitchen table with her toddlers underfoot, with her baby strapped on. And then she just started in the farmer's market. And she would take her little wagon with her like few bars of soaps. And I'm always reminded, like, do not despise these small beginnings, right? We never know what God has in store for us when we just lay it all out there and we just surrender it and say, do what you want with this, right? And so she started at her kitchen table. She moved to her garage, then she moved to like this little shop, and one thing led to another, and people loved this stuff because, first of all, it's so clean you can eat it, which I love. I'm a mom of 5, and so I love that if any of my kids, as crazy as that sounds, gets a hold of my soap or any of the products in our lines, like I don't have to call poison control because it's literally made out of like the herbs like up in the mountains. Which is amazing. And they were effective. They worked. They did what they said they were going to do, which people always have a beef with in the natural world. They're always like, but does it work, right? Does the soap actually lather up? Like, is it actually going to do what it says it's going to do? Yes, yes, and yes. And then not only were they pure effective, but they were also missional. Missional being that a portion of every single purchase from the get-go, from like when she was at the kitchen table making like 2 bars of soap, from the get-go, she and her family have supported the end and the fight to end, of child trafficking, both domestically and internationally. And so people kept coming back for more. People kept coming to her table at the farmer's market and saying, okay, like this worked, but also I have like this little thing on my arm and I need help with this. Or like I don't know, all the things, whatever, right? Like they kept coming to her with like problems they had. And she was like, let me go back to my kitchen table or my garage or whatever. Let me see what I could come up with, right? She'd go up to the mountains in Colorado behind her house and she'd collect all this earthy goodness and herbs and whatnot. She'd come and she'd make something together and then she'd offer it, right, at the next farmer's market. And what I love about that is that we don't make products. Jamie does not create products for the sheer joy of just creating them. She creates them very intentionally and there's something on my mouth. Sorry. Super creatively, super intentionally and specifically to solve problems. Okay. So when you go to like Bath and Body Works and you see like the same product in like 400 different scents, and it's just like this plethora of stuff, we don't do that. We have very, very intentional products that serve purposes. They solve tons of problems, but that one product can solve so many problems. So I always like to share that because we don't just make stuff to sell stuff. We make stuff to serve people. So anyways, so this little tiny business that she started at her kitchen table turns into like a very successful e-commerce business, and it's doing well and people are loving it. They're coming back for more. And, you know, it looks like a beautiful, like full circle moment. And so one day, now it's been like 2-3 years ago. Wow, that's crazy how time flies. She turned to her husband. She's like, okay, like we did the thing. We created this beautiful company. We've served all these families. We've done what we set out to do. What is next for us? How can we deepen and magnify the impact that we're already making? And so her financial advisors had told her for years, like, Jamie, you need to take this and like turn it into social selling. And she was like, I'm not touching that. Like, that industry is messed up. I don't want any part to do with that. Like, this is not a hey girl company. You know what I mean? We all get those messages, right? We're not going to chase down people. Like, that's just not who we are. That's kind of gross. So she said no and no and no. And then when she started talking to her husband, Nathan, about what was next, she very clearly felt that God was telling her, listen, you have this amazing gift. It's impacting people. What if we transitioned it to social selling and impacted families on a financial level, and you restored the industry simultaneously, and you could kind of set the bar for how to actually do this thing? Because we all know that social selling and network marketing has kind of been perverted and twisted over time, right? It's the most powerful business model on the earth, and yet it's kind of gotten kind of messed up over the years and gotten a bad name. But we're here to tell you, all of our Rice sisters, that it is incredible when done correctly. When it's done with love and with a servant-hearted approach, it is life-changing, not only for the person who's actually in it, but for all of the families that they serve through the products that they offer and the natural solutions. And so that's what they decided to do. They were like, let's give it a try. So, I was fortunate enough to be in pre-launch when we were just starting this thing. And it has been incredible. But I'll tell you what has stuck out to me the most throughout these last couple of years of really growing with MIG and watching Jamie take this e-commerce company and transition it to social selling. And that is that Jamie is steadfast, and her visionary leadership and focus and calling and every way she does things has been consistent and the same throughout, which I absolutely love. And we all know that people flourish and thrive when leadership is on point. And I will follow Jamie to the ends of the earth because her leadership and her business savvy and the way she does business and everything that we're offered, from compensation plans to self-development training. I mean, we see her every single week in lives in our private Facebook group, and she shows up as she is. She's got her kids around. She's nursing her fifth baby, right? We are a group of completely ordinary women who just want to make extraordinary impact. And men are welcome as well. But it just so happens that Arise right now is a whole bunch of ladies with husbands. Okay? So, not all of us, but many of us. So our guys are the husbands, but that's fine. But anyways, so Jamie is she's been incredible in her leadership. And then, we partner with two nonprofit organizations who are fighting child trafficking. And I love these organizations because they're actual boots on the ground organizations. They aren't just supporting from a distance. They are actually in the work, doing the work day in and day out, which is so necessary, both here in the States and then, around the world. And those two organizations, if you're just interested in supporting them or you want to look them up, the first one is Underground Railroad and the second one is Not for Sale. And you can go Google them, look them up, Instagram them, whatever floats your boat, but they are incredible. What else? Let's see. I'm going to share a little bit about Arise family, and then I'm going to kind of like open it up. So our Arise family is basically a family of families who want to make an impact. So you will see families in Arise families of all ethnicities, all backgrounds, ages, professions, all the things, okay? We are all inclusive. We love everybody. We want to welcome everybody, activate everybody, pour into everybody, serve everybody, all the things, okay? So You will not find unicorns in Arise family. We are not the flashy network marketers who are earning cars and who have all the bling and who are like, Cancun every weekend with our private whatevers. Okay. That's not us. So if you're looking for that, this ain't for you. This is what we are. We're a family of families who are completely ordinary. Okay. Most of us have children who join us on calls, join us on Zooms, join us in trainings, join us at retreats. Children are always welcome. And basically what we want to do as a Rise family is have an impact, but not just have an impact in the broad sense of the word. We want to truly use the gifts that God has given us, the talents that he has given us, want to use our resources to have an impact in our individual lanes, both individually and collectively as a whole. So you will see families here who are using MIG to fund adoptions. There are other people who are using MIG to pay their utility bills, right? Keep the lights on. There are other families here who are using MIG to cover college bills for their kids, okay? Because they have like 1 billion kids and college is expensive, okay? Missy's raising her hand. She just finished paying off 3 kids full college, like debt-free. She's done, okay? So it's those kind of real life, just practical things. That's why we're here. And Missy, if I can just borrow you for a minute, they're debt free from college. So what does that mean? Those are fancy words, but really what that means is that now everything she's making from MIG is positioning her to radically bless and serve someone else, okay? Because she's got her own babies taken care of. She's served them. She's helped them go a little way, right? Now, everything she makes and earns is going to help others. So we want to earn so that we can give back and give away. Okay. And so that's just something that kind of sets us apart. We're not in it for the fancy cars and fancy homes and all the upgrades. Even though those are nice, there's nothing wrong with those, but the upgrade for us is impact. The upgrade for us is funding schooling for kids who need it. The upgrade for us is supporting one another, right? And so that's what you'll find here. A couple just little things about when you join Arise or when you decide to link arms with us. We are really on the front lines for family and personal transformation. And so we build people first and foremost, and those people go out and build businesses to fulfill the calling on their lives, okay? So we do a lot of self-development. We do a lot of mindset training. We do a lot of community collaboration. Those kinds of things. The resources that we are able to offer as a team family are extensive, and that is intentional. We want you, if you choose to become a member of a Rise family, we want you to be positioned to build a sustainable, profitable, but also enjoyable business. This is not meant to be a business of overwhelm or stress. This is meant to be fun. This is meant to stretch ourselves, grow ourselves, so that we can have and do and be what we have never had, been, or done. So that is a little bit about us. I'm going to just open it up. We have like 8 minutes left, but I am willing to stay on here for as long as possible. I just want you to know that I will always, always, always respect and honor your time, because I know it's precious. So I want to open it up if anybody has any questions, or if you're an Arise sister and you just want to share what this community has done for you. I'm going to mute up and let y'all take over, okay? Mwah.
Okay, I'll speak just really quick while people get up the courage to ask their questions, because I know you've got to have some questions. But I'll speak to any of those of you in the house who have been in network marketing, social selling before, because that's my background. I left being a pharmacist to do network marketing. And so I'm the girl who's been through all the companies, right? So you may identify with that. And if you do, it's so incredible to land in a place that does things completely different. And we've all heard that before, right? We've all heard that spiel before. This is different. It's like, this is the place. This is it. But what I will tell you is what sets this apart for me is what I just typed in the chat, even though I'm not Bethany, I'm Melissa, is that working from a place of rest can actually be found. And I've never had anyone teach me that the way Bethany and Missy have taught me that, and also Jamie, because that's from Jamie down, right? So to be able to really find joy in the day to day and not in the striving and the achievement, but just to be able to work my business consistently with open hands and say, you know what? I'm just going to show up and we're going to celebrate that together. And I've got all these women who can fill in the places that I'm not good. I'm not good at organization. I'm not a photographer. I don't have those skill sets. But the great thing about this model, when done well, is you have all of these women that are good at those things and they're willing to share and bless one another because we're here to serve, not just with products, but also as a family. So I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I can't say enough good. Okay. Second, Bethany's done.
Were there any questions in the chat? I'm just now catching up in the chat, you guys.
And you guys, Lydia, she just got she got the big Roots VIP, and it just came like a couple of days ago. And she's just jumping in. She's just doing the thing, and she's not stressed, and she's having fun, and like, this is the way it should be done. And she's got all these great products. It's like the coolest thing to be a part of, to see someone else having fun. Like, that is another great thing about this. So I love you, Lydia. I'm glad you're here.
We love you, Lydia. Anybody else? Questions, comments, anything at all? We're an open book.
Yes. Shayla, do you have any questions? I know you and I have been going back and forth a lot already, but I still, since all of us are here, well, a lot of us are here.
Yeah, I mean, I had a million questions before I joined, and you and the other Tiffany and Bethany have been pretty great about communicating with all the answers. I'm stumped because I was kind of reviewing the tutorial videos yesterday, and it seemed a little bit overwhelming with all the steps, but pretty much it was encouraging just to hear, have fun with it, spiritual growth, share, enjoy the products. And but right now I'll probably type more questions later on.
Okay. Well, we're just excited that you're here. I'm so glad you're in such a good place, and all these women have been, as you have already heard, both the Bethanys have been so uplifting, and everyone. Yeah, it's just great.
You know what? Maybe, okay, so I just want to know, because I'm a homeschool mom, I have 3 boys, and if anyone wants to share tips on how they work, like their organization for social media, like is there a certain time you post or make videos, any tips that will help a busy mom how to share MIG with followers?
I think that's going to me. Okay, so here's the cool thing, Shayla. We have a lot of homeschooling families in Arise. A lot. And the cool thing is that we all support each other, and we have tons of tips and all of those. So you're part of the Arise Family Facebook group, right? Shayla?
Yes.
Yeah, you got added to that group. Okay, so what we can do is we can go back through and look at some block scheduling and homeschooling, and we can type in the search bar those things. And several trainings and lives that I have done or others have done should pop up to kind of assist you with that. But also, if there's ever anything specific that you want to know, like, okay, specifically, I am a homeschool mom. How do I balance all of this? How do I, fill in the blank, whatever it is for you? All you have to do is message me and I will train on it. Okay. That's the cool thing about training in Arise is that for me, and I can speak for all of the rest of the leaders as well, we want to deliver and serve with what you truly need to build the way you want to build. And so if ever there is not training on something specific that would meet your needs, if you just let us know, we're always there to coach you through that and help you with that.
All right. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. Okay, I see a question here. Can you tell me what your
There's a question about not being good at selling, which I think is totally something that lots of people would have as something that makes you afraid. And I think something, and I know Melissa put something in here, but I think, or maybe it was you, the real Bethany, that we want to talk about the shift of thinking about selling and think about serving and being problem solvers. And when you have experienced, I had a headache and I used this headache balm and it worked, or my skin is transformed, that's something that you can share and you're authentically sharing. And then, I talked to someone yesterday who has had gut issues. She's having amazing results from the detox, and she's so excited to help other people who have gut issues experience what she's experienced with the detox. So it's just a different thing. And it's not about you, it's about them. And I think that's really the swap in our mind. Is that a good thing? But I get it. I think I don't think any of us would say we're good salespeople.
No, I don't like to sell, honestly. I don't like to sell. I always tell people that we do 3 things in Arise. We storytell, so 3 S's. We storytell, so we tell about, what things have done for us, right? So we tell a story, we solve a problem, and we serve people. And those are the 3 S's. That's exactly what you do. And nowhere in there is sell. Okay. So instead of looking at it, it's just like Missy said. So there are so many, I would say most of us in Arise, we are not natural sellers. We're not like, oh, let me go blast this stuff all over my social media. People are going to love me. This is not how we do. But if we can tell a story and share a transformation on how something helped us or served, my kid with ADHD, and he's taking brain activation, and he was able to cut down on his meds. I know that that's going to serve another mama out there. That's going to serve another family. That's going to serve another child beyond my own kid, right? And so it becomes this shift in focus where instead of thinking, oh man, I got to sell this because I got to make this much commission in order to hit this rank to do it. You know what I mean? We're just not even focused on that. I mean, it's nice to have goals, numeric goals, but we're just focused on helping actual human beings, if that makes sense. Okay. Is there anything else, guys, that I'm missing? Lindsay, did you get your question answered about requirements?
I answered it very just straight up, but Lindsay owns multiple businesses and has kiddos, and so if you want to speak at all extra to that,
yeah, I mean, yeah, I get the busy and the overwhelm. I have 5 kiddos myself, and we homeschool, and the last 18 months we've been fighting a very, very aggressive, we fought a very, very aggressive cancer that hit my husband. And so I totally understand the concern of not having capacity and not having enough bandwidth to do it. So the first thing I want to say is I will never try and convince you to join Arise. And it's not because I don't want you here. It's because I want what's best for you in the season where you're at. Okay. I want to serve you best that way. And so if that looks like we can work together and figure this out, that's great. And if it's not right now because you have too much going on, that's okay too. We can still be besties. But as far as, was it requirements, multiple businesses? Okay. First of all, we have several things in Arise that are specific times when we get together. For instance, we have a content planning session with Mel that we do every 4 weeks that is intended to help you cut down on time that you're spending on social media and sharing about your business on social media. Okay, so we have certain things in place designed intentionally to really position you for success so that you can have those wins no matter what amount of time that you have to put into it, if that makes sense. And so really it's your business. If you want to spend 10 minutes on it every day, do that. If you want to go like full force like I do and turn this into a career, you can do that too. It's really just what serves you and your family best. But as far as requirements of having to, to be an ambassador, you don't lose your ambassador standing or anything like that. We don't do quotas like, oh, you have to hit this in order to be like part of the cool club. We don't do anything like that. If you have a month where you don't sell anything, so you didn't sell anything. I'm sorry. You didn't serve anybody. You didn't serve anybody. Okay, big whoop. So the next month, guess what? You go at it again if you want to. Okay. If you don't, then wait till the next month. Okay. So there's really there's no penalty if you have a month that's busier than usual or that's whatever it is. Okay. Whatever applies to you. In order to be commissionable, there needs to be $100 worth of product bought from your website every month. Okay. That's not your purchase. That doesn't have to be one lump sum purchase. That could be like Robin bought $20 and Penny bought $80. Okay. As long as there's $100 purchased from your personal website, you're active and you're making commission. Okay. And $100 is super low. And I love that if I don't want to spend $100, I don't have to. I am not expected to put any money in. We don't even have back office fees. Like we don't even have monthly business fees, you guys. Like there's no website fee. Like if I don't want to buy a product, I don't buy a product. I'm still earning a paycheck to provide for my family, right? And to impact others. So this has been intentionally designed to serve families. I hope that helps. Okay. Mel, did you see any other questions on there?
I think that's it, hon.
Is that it? All right, you guys. I'm so glad y'all came to hang out. Arise sisters and other friends. Oh my goodness. Any other questions? Any whatever, wonderings, ramblings, whatever. My inbox is always open. Please feel free to connect with me, connect with the person who invited you here. And we look forward to serving you again, you guys. Have a great evening. Enjoy your families. Put your phones away and go make some good connection. We love you. Mwah. See you later, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.